What's up guys, welcome to Man About Cake. I'm your host Joshua John Russell, and this week I'm making an octopus wedding cake. We're gonna build a gravity-defying cake using copper armature and doing some modeling chocolate texture. You guys ready? Octopus! All right, we're gonna start by breaking down our 6-inch vanilla cake. This is a pretty intense cake, so I'm going very simple with the flavor. Save it. Garbage cake. James can't have any of that. Sorry, James. He's on a diet until his wedding. So everyone follow James and make sure he stays on his diet. All right, now we're gonna fill this guy with vanilla buttercream. By the way, if you guys want this recipe or any of my recipes, you can click the I or get them from the description box below. First trip to the cooler. Now I'm gonna trim it, crumb coat it, and final coat it. I'm gonna put this guy back in the cooler and then we're gonna work on the armature. I'm gonna use some unconventional materials to build this armature. So we're gonna use some copper wire. By the way, if you're building armature, the hardware store will become your best friend.
I thought I was your best friend, Joshua.
Just when I'm filming. Oh, like not outside here. You can tell people that. So to build this, I have two masonite boards. This one is 8-inch. This one is about a 16. And I painted the top of this one white and the bottom of this one white, because we're gonna pack all the modeling chocolate around, so you're not gonna see this, but if someone looks underneath the cake, you might see brown. And then I'm gonna prop it up on this little vase that I found just to keep it level while I glue all of my little leg, what do you call these, leg holders? They're the bones.
Bones.
Although octopi don't have bones.
Legs.
Okay, legs. And then this tier will be fake because we're gonna have to push all of our modeling chocolate against here to make it look like one. If it was cake, we would end up ruining the cake. So this one's gonna be fake and the top two tiers will be real. There's not a lot of cake in this. It's more like an editorial piece, something you would do for like art, you know? Got it. Yeah? Is that believable or no? You didn't seem like you believed me.
I never like it when there's not much cake.
You can't eat cake. So I'm just gonna take my wire cutters and snip a piece of this off. I think. There we go. This stuff is really flexible and easy to snap. And then what I do is kind of shape it the way I want, like I did this one. And then I made a piece of this at the top flat, so it will glue to here. It's the fiddle. It's the fiddle. It will glue to here, and then I'll glue it down here, just to keep it stable. And then once we pack the chocolate over all of this, it'll be super, super sturdy, and then it will be able to carry the weight of the other two tiers. All right, let's see if our hot glue's ready. These aren't cake tools. I don't know how to use them. I don't know, where did I put this? You know what it is? It's the cord is like, it's like, da-doo-doo. It just doesn't want to stay up. There we go. Okay, now it's time to glue this on. So because this is painted, the glue's not gonna wanna stick, so I'm gonna scratch it a little bit where I'm gonna glue it, so the glue will hold on. Okay, so we'll put a little bit of glue on here. I can't do it. I can't do crafts, guys.
It's still the fiddle's fault, right?
No, it might be the filler now. Now I blame me. There we go. Glue on there, and then we'll put some. I'm gonna start this over. I will beat you. I think I just caught the garbage can on fire. Okay, I think we're ready now. Everything's driving me crazy. Glue off here. I'm just gonna start over, okay? Can you just rewind all that? All right, apparently you have to do it by hand. Put some on these scratches. You're useless. The first one's always the hardest one. Once you get this one on, the rest of them are really, really easy, unless you have this particular hot glue gun, which is immediately going in the garbage. All right, let's do one on the other side. All right, hot glue. It dries pretty quickly. All right, now I'm gonna put the rest of my legs on. All right, now that I got 3 of them on and I'm sturdy, I'm gonna take out my support. I think so. That is tight. Okay. Now put the rest of my legs on. Now that my armature is built, I'm gonna grab my modeling chocolate and we'll start building this guy. So the first thing we need to do before we start building our octopus tentacles is to panel a dummy cake that's gonna sit on top. I'm gonna do this with white modeling chocolate and a little bit of cornstarch. So we're making a dummy cake because, like I said before, when you're actually packing all of the tentacles on, you don't want to damage a real cake. So everything underneath will be all out of modeling chocolate and then the real cakes will sit on top. And I'm gonna roll this out with my spacing bands so that everything is exactly the same thickness. Gotta watch my hair. It's not too big today. I've been mindful of it. I practice at home. I put a mirror above me and then I do this. So we're gonna attach this using a little bit of mirror glaze. Just gonna paint this on top. So normally when I'm doing a regular cake, I would put this on top, but because it's a dummy, flip it over. Makes it much easier. And then we can trim it. By the way, you guys have been asking a lot of questions about the tools that I use, or my favorite tools. We put a collection together and we're actually giving a whole set away. Everything's in the description box below. That looks about good. Now we'll panel the side. All right, I'm gonna roll this out the same way, but I rolled it into a log first because we want it to be a strip to go around the sides. So I'm gonna cut a straight edge along the bottom. This will be the bottom edge of the cake. So then we'll open this up, take this little guy out, and close it up. Magic! And the last thing we have to do is just trim the top. So same thing, use a sharp blade. All right, now that our cake is paneled, we can finally start building our octopus. All right, so we're gonna put our first tentacle on using white modeling chocolate. I've already processed this, so it's already soft. I'm just gonna roll it into a long carroty thing. I guess the idea really is to just make sure that we have a lot of volume on the side that's gonna stick to the cake, and then we want it to taper off. So I wanted to get it as long as this copper tubing is. So it will fit around the copper pipe. I'm gonna actually cut it open. So I'm just cutting down and pulling it open, like if you're actually filleting an octopus tentacle. I don't know why you would do that. I do like octopus. Octopi? Can we just change it to octopieces because that's funnier?
Octopizzle.
You're not allowed to name things, Brandon, remember? All right, now we're gonna stick it on filleted side. I'm like a fishmonger. Filleted side towards the cake actually goes on relatively easy, and you want some of it to actually stick onto the cake. It's the thing with modeling chocolate. Sometimes it looks really kind of weird until it looks good. Especially if you're putting something over an armature, it's gonna look bumpy and strange. We'll smooth everything out. And then I'm actually gonna take a small cell pen, and we're gonna just mold the chocolate up to the 8-inch tier. All right, I think I got the shape that I like. Get it completely seamless. You can use your finger as well. The heat of your hands will do this. And then we're gonna texture all this as well. So if you end up having a little seam, don't worry about it. The texture will cover all of that up. But I am gonna smooth it out using my little, what do we say this is called? It's like a fondant octopus smoother. See, that's not so hard, right? Now that the structure's built and the cake's made and the modeling chocolate, then it's really easy after that. You be at home, I'm just gonna make a unipus. Bye-bye. They're gonna grow back eventually. Let's wait. So I got it to the shape that I want. It's pretty smooth. Now I'm gonna add the texture and the suckers. I'm gonna do this to each one as I put them on. So I'm just gonna cut a little line. The suckers will be on one side and the texture will be on the other. And I'm just doing this with a little Dresden tool, a stitchy tool. Now I'm gonna start adding my texture. I've got a couple of different volley tools here. Now we're gonna make our suckers. I'm just gonna take little balls of modeling chocolate. And my hands are really warm, so it's gonna stick to itself. You could use a little bit of piping gel here or water to get them to stick together. And then I'm just gonna put the sucker in here. So then once it's on there, you just take a little ball tool and we just wanna open it up, like a little sucker. Also known as things that terrified me when I was a child. I'm gonna keep adding tentacles, texture, and suckers. And just like that, I'm almost done. One left. Turn your head and cough. This takes forever, but it's gonna look really awesome. Now it's time to stack the cake together. I covered our tier that we made earlier and an additional smaller tier. This is a 4-inch. And because this is a fake piece, we actually don't need bubble tea straws to go into this. They'd be really hard to shove in styrofoam anyways. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of royal icing to here so he sticks. Oh, he got something in his hair. We'll take our 6-inch here. We're just gonna use 3 bubble tea straws for this baby top tier. All right, for the final touch, I'm gonna add some glittery sugar sand. Excuse me, can you move you're in my way. High five. He can't open his mouth, he's making a pearl. Our octopus wedding cake is all finished and I love her. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Man About Cake. Don't forget, if you want any of the tools or supplies, click the I at the top or get them from the description box below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please tell me what you guys want to see in future episodes. Now this cake looks really crazy and probably hard to deliver, by the way. But because this is fake, it's actually very sturdy and easier to deliver than a regular wedding cake. But she's not going anywhere. Let's eat her!
Yeah.
That's close. High five! I'm sorry! And just like that,
Stay still.
Moving, Joshua.
the copper needs to come towards me.
Is that good?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm almost done. That stressed me out so much. Look at this. My hands were sweating. Look at this. I'm gonna move. And Brandon's like, you're moving, you're moving.